Hi, folks. Welcome back to the Horde. So, I don't know, it's about 1:30, 7/14th, Monday, 26 degrees centigrade. I don't know, about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, really 124. As I said, where are we? There you go. There's all the particulars. So, what's going on? I'm back from Alaska. Just quickly about the trip. We took a couple of planes, ended up in Fairbanks, stayed in Fairbanks for a few days. Then, what did we do? We took buses to some place and then took a train, and the train ended up in Anchorage. And then we took buses from Fairbanks, ended up in Denali. Then took a bus from Denali to the train, and the train brought us to Anchorage. And then from Anchorage, we took another bus. And where did we go on the next bus? I forgot. Maybe Seward? Yeah, maybe Seward. And then we caught the boat and then, floated our way down from there. Ketchikan, or Haines, Ketchikan, then eventually down to Vancouver, and then caught a plane and flew to Newark Airport, and then took a car up back to the house. So I was gone for about 2 weeks. Grass needs to be cut badly, so that's something I really got to get to. Just got back, unpacking the suitcases and all that type of stuff. Enjoyed the heck out of Alaska. Beautiful state up there. I don't know if I have any Alaskan viewers. If so, welcome. You got a great state. Particularly, I wanted to head up to Fairbanks. My parents spent some time in Fairbanks. Something about my father having a hot driver's license down in New York City in the early 50s. So he ran off to Fairbanks, brought my mother, and the two of them had my sister up there. Went to see their old place. It's on Front Street in downtown Fairbanks. Turns out the flood of 1967 washed the trailer they were living in away. Front Street is still there. I'm not slamming on anybody, but it looked like Daryl and his other brother Daryl and a third Daryl were living in that area. It looked like a real tough part of town. For anybody who's at all familiar with Fairbanks, Fairbanks is an example of a no zoning type city where you have the fanciest of hotels right alongside somebody's place that looks worse than the Horde here, right next to somebody who's saving up containers. I don't know, for the Alaskan pipeline or for to store stuff to move somewhere. So there's like a pile of boxes right next to a fancy house. And then once again, the pattern just repeats over and over and over again, right next door to each other. And they're like on quarter-acre lots, half-acre lots, and somebody managed to get enough of them together, and they built a fancy hotel, but they didn't do anything about the bar next door that the porch collapsed in, and now people are walking up on cinder blocks and pallets to get inside the bar to have a drink. It's just very interesting, very wild. Very free, I guess. Let's use the word. The folks are free to do whatever they want out there. And for the folks of Alaska, it works for them, and they're happy there in Fairbanks, so they wouldn't be there. So such is life. I'm not criticizing. I'm just stating what I saw. Anyway, so Denali was great. Big revelation about Denali is we went on a 40-mile excursion into the park. McKinley Park. Now they're changing that to Denali Park. It's a national park, federal. I was surprised at how little wildlife is in the park. I mean, you see them little Arctic squirrels all over the place, which is a bigger version of chipmunks for those of us who live here on the East Coast. New England, a little bigger than your chipmunk, a little longer tail than your chipmunk, but they're chipmunks. We did see moose. Moose were floating around. We did see at a great distance a bear. We saw orca whales once we hit the water. We saw dolphins, seals, otters, all that type of stuff. But once again, in the park, I was surprised. For as many miles as we drove in, I think you can count the wildlife, and I don't mean different species. I mean every wild animal I saw on both hands. So, for such a big park, I don't know where the wildlife was hiding. And if you've ever been through the park, you realize that you're on a bus and you could see like miles in all directions and binoculars and so forth. There just didn't appear to be a lot of life there. I expected to see every stream with a bear beating the hell out of salmon in it and all that other kind of stuff, and it was really kind of surprising. Seems that we did see moose, and moose, particularly the females who have recently calved, they have a tendency to hang out near populated areas because that's where their calves are safest, right? You can't hunt them near populated areas. Wolves and other things that eat their young, bear, don't particularly hang out in populated areas. So it seemed like the moose hung out with people. Two different things also. The big surprise, if you see a moose, run like hell. Chances are they're not going to chase you, or they're not going to chase you down. But if you face up to a moose and you get a moose's face, it'll pound the shit out of you. Bear. If you see a bear, you try to look big and you try to make sounds and you look it in the eye. You don't approach it, but you try to look as big as possible, and it'll think, well, do I really want to eat something that might, it does like a risk and reward type thing. Kind of scary in both cases. I'd have a tendency to want to get my ass out of there. But if you run and a bear is hungry, you will become part of its feed bag. So, bear and moose stories. Came home, house is still here, which is a good sign. Got some mail, and as a matter of fact, hope I didn't already lose it. I got the cable for the pit bike. You can see the description. Top mount clutch cable, and that SDG, Speed Defies Gravity, pit bike. Anyway, so it looks like it's going to be the right one. I hope so anyway. If not, I've just thrown away $11. Here's the people it came from. This was really the only complication for this engine swap was the clutch. I can't get the cable tight enough, so when I pull the clutch lever in, it doesn't fully disengage. Right, I need more pull on that. So hopefully, once again, this fixes my problem. Let me put it right there so I don't lose it. So there's that story. You guys noticed I put some videos in the can before I left. I didn't want to leave the channel basically unattended for 2 weeks. I worked hard, and some of you folks are very loyal watchers, subscribers, and I didn't want to leave you all hanging for 2 weeks because you don't advertise, hey, I'm leaving for 2 weeks, because that's just not smart. I might have lurkers watching my channel who may not necessarily have my best interests at mind, and if they hear something like that, they might know me, they might know the house, and they might know that they could come by and bother it. So it's not something you would advertise. My son was around, and my buddy Chuck was around shooting at things, and if he would catch somebody here, he's always armed, and he would hold them until the cops came, and that would be, yet another whole problem for them. And if they got aggressive, that could be an even bigger problem for everybody. So we try not to have those things happen, so it's best not to promote them by advertising that I would be away for a little while. So anyway, thanks to everybody who stuck with me. The video should become normal, starting out with putting that clutch cable on the Speed Defies Gravity bike. Get that much done. There's a lot I need to do around, like cut the grass and, you know, put my stuff away, do 14 million pounds of laundry. I got to go to work on Wednesday, so I have to get my mind wrapped around that. Talk about after vacation depression. It's a bitch to come back from vacation and have all this stuff to do, and once again get back to work. That always sucks. So yeah, it's normal programming, but give me a little while to ramp up. While I was away, you know, you go away, you try to learn some things and all that. In Alaska, particularly rural Alaska, as we were traveling from Fairbanks to Denali, people love to have hoards of stuff. A lot of it had to do with cars and trucks and junk like that they've, you know, I guess got their hands on over the years. And in Alaska, you don't exactly go to a garage sale every day and pick something up. If you're out in the bush, it might be hundreds of miles worth of traveling for you to go look at your neighbor's three-wheeler, right? By the way, I did see a nice three-wheeler, a 1986 250R. That's the water-cooled guy. It was in a pickup truck I wanted, $1,800, and that was in Ketchikan. Given that I couldn't fit it into my luggage to bring home, I couldn't take advantage of it, and the other problem was I didn't have $1,800 handy. So, unfortunately, there that goes. But you know, you do realize when you travel, and I went to that Hammer Museum and saw what he had, and you know, just some other people who put together. There was a cool car museum we went to, and a few other things. You just realize what people have and what they put together. And in my retirement, I do really need to work at getting a tad more organized. I've made tremendous progress from when you guys first met me, I don't know, 18, 20 months ago, whatever it was, but I need to continue that growth path. I really need to keep improving. I have a ways to go. Some might even say a long ways to go. Comments. I do enjoy the comments, and and I even enjoy the comments where people, you know, as I was going through the horde and the sheds and all that, and people said it's a terrible, terrible waste. That's somewhat of a valid opinion. But on the other flip side of it, remember, some of this stuff I saved literally from being recycled. So, is it better that I have a three-wheeler that kind of ends up on a shelf and the parts, you know, go to the next three-wheeler? Or is it better that it gets recycled and the plastic gets, I don't know, ground and burnt up, or it gets put in a landfill? I don't know. I think the horde is a better place than that. So, though your opinion... those opinions are valid from the point of view is it would be better if the stuff immediately was, you know, broken up and perhaps put on eBay or sold, or you know, instantly put into a running vehicle. Well, that's not going to happen. So the next best thing is it ends up with me until I put it together, or if, God forbid, I get thrown, you know, over the side, my day comes, then, you know, hopefully my sons do more with it than I did. This is some of that poison ivy killer I used. That was over a week ago now. You guys could see that it kind of did a little bit. I kind of really had to do some of this stuff down low, because when I was going by it, I was afraid I was going to get smacked in the face by it and end up with poison ivy. You guys could see some of it's dead over there. Right, so kind of happy that some of that stuff worked while I was away. Right, it's always good to see progress when I'm gone. I was asked, Bill Stanton, as William Stanton, to go through some of the stuff in these outbuildings, and I need to do that. And as a matter of fact, I need to kind of organize it. A lot of things I need to do. But in the meantime, this video is starting to get long. Folks, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sticking with me in my 2 weeks of absence. There are another few Alaskan videos I'm probably going to throw up just to amuse you guys on some of the old snowmobiles they have and all. So I hope you guys enjoy that stuff. The simplicity of some of these things should really drive us to move forward on some of our projects, because you see how simple it was, and these are working machines that these are things we can build ourselves. So I'm going to post some of that stuff. Once again, I'll get that running hopefully before I get back to work, and we're all good. Folks, thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and take care. Remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and live life like you're not quite sure when it's going to end, so you got to get a lot in. Okay, folks, take care.